Friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time being here, hello, my name is Kim. I am an illustrator as well as a writer. Thank you for joining me today. I have a very exciting video, as you can tell by the title of this video. I'm going to be sharing my August TBR with you all, things that I'm planning to read. I have it right over here, my big fat juicy stack. To be honest, I haven't really been keeping up with my reading as much as I would like the last couple of months. I've had some pretty big projects going on behind the scenes, as I've shared here on YouTube, and so that's been taking a lot of my time, so I haven't been able to really keep up with my reading, so I've slacked quite a bit. So I just want to make this video to hold myself accountable that I'm going to read these books for August, or at least try to read as many as I can for August, and get back into my regular reading routine. I have been buying books left and right, and the other day I had to stop myself. I have so many unread books, but just I'm sure all of you can relate, where it's just you just want to buy that one book because you just want to add it to your shelf because it's gonna look so pretty. You just want to collect it because you're a book lover and you know you'll read it eventually. You just want it to be part of your bookshelf. Yeah, that was me. So I had to stop myself the other day and tell myself, you need to read some of your unread books first if you want to continue buying new books. So I'm challenging myself this August to read some of my unread books. Also, August for me, in my brain, it's already fall. So I'm already getting I'm curating all of my cozy fall, autumn, Halloweeny, spooky books together. And I have someone here already for my August TBR that I want to kind of get out of the way because I said I was going to read them last year and I didn't. So I've added those to my August TBR to kind of just start setting the mood to transition myself into September and then October, where it's going to be really fun reading cozy, spooky fantasy books. Because if you've been here, you know that's my jam in what my reading taste is. Cozy, fantasy, witchy, spooky, mystery, maybe sometimes thrillers. I'm here for it. So friends, without much more yapping, let's get into my August TBR. And I hope that you can find something in my stack that you might find interesting to read for August as well. So the first book that I have here on my stack that I'm thinking I'm going to kick off my August with is actually Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I have been wanting to get into Leigh Bardugo for quite some time now, and I bought this book last year with the hopes of just getting into it right away, but life happened and I completely put this in the back burner. So Ninth House is about someone named Alex who is a survivor of a homicide. After she survives this homicide, she ends up getting invited to attend Yale as a full-time student. And come Yale, she gets exposed to magic, to the occult, to very mysterious things, as well as I think she experiences another murder at Yale. I'm not too sure about that. So that's what it's about. It's about her finding her way, her working through what she has gone through, her trauma, amidst this very prestigious school. And I think she sets off to try and solve this mystery, or this murder mystery that occurred at Yale when she's there, if I'm not wrong. And I did hear that this book is very, it's horror, it's gory. There's a lot of trigger warnings that you should look up if you're thinking about picking up this book. I heard that it's eerie and also that it's a slow burn. I decided to start off and kick off August with this book because I did hear that it's pretty heavy and it has really heavy topics. So I'm gonna start off with the most heaviest and kind of dark book that I have on my stack from what I'm aware of, and transition into something more cozy and more light. But I am very interested in the occult. I love reading about occult, so I'm excited to get into this book and get introduced to Leigh Bardugo's writing. And if I like it, maybe I'll continue reading her works. I know another one that I'm interested in reading from hers is Six of Crows. I've heard really good things about Six of Crows. So yeah, that's the first one for August. Also, I have the audiobook for this on Libby, and I figured that I would just read along and listen to the audiobook, because usually for me, books like this, or just very world building books, fantasy books, are really hard for me just to get into just by reading it. My brain doesn't capture all the details right away, but if I'm listening to the audiobook, it's more easier for me to just get into it. So I have the audiobook for that on Libby, and then the next one that I'm planning on reading right after Ninth House, because I also have the audiobook for it. I don't have the physical copy. I have it on Libby. It's called A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. T. Kingfisher is another author that I've been wanting to get into. I've heard really good things about their writing style. Also, one of my favorite genres to read is cozy fantasy, and I read that this is right up there with cozy fantasy, so I'm excited to get into this book. So in this book, we follow 14-year-old Mona, who is a wizard. And in this world, wizards hold really cool magical powers. But for Mona, the power that she holds is actually controlling and manipulating sourdough. So her magic only works on bread, which I thought was very funny and very intriguing, which was what led me to want to read this book. I also, for some reason, love reading books that have to do with food. One of my all-time favorite books was Legends and Lattes that I read, when was it, last year? Yeah, I think I read it last year or early this year, and it had to do with coffee. I don't know, I just really enjoy reading about food. I think it's just the way that when it comes to food, it is described, especially cozy food, like cafes, bakeries. To say the least, I'm excited for this book. So anyways, back to Mona. Apparently Mona's life is turned upside down the day that she finds a dead body at her aunt's bakery, which is where she works. And apparently this set of murders is because they are targeting wizards. So the book is pretty much about Mona taking charge and trying to figure out who is it that is killing or targeting wizards. And she has to do so with only her magic that is controlling and manipulating sourdough. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm so excited to get into this. So I think that was a good pick to read Ninth House first and then transition into A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, because I'm pretty sure, considering the heavy topics on here, I'm gonna need something light, funny. I had to transition to my phone because apparently my camera was dying. We're just gonna roll with it. So as I was saying about A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, that is not a book that I have owned before, but because I am reading it through Libby, where I didn't pay for it, it's fine. I didn't pay for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that. Now, my next book I have had in my library for quite some time now, and I haven't read it. I said I was gonna read it last year during spooky season, and I didn't. And that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I actually tried getting into it. As you can tell, I went to chapter 2. I tried getting into it last year, but I think it was either, I can't remember what happened. If we're gonna try again, I really want to read this because one of my favorite things is to read about witches, obviously. So we're gonna give it a go. So this book follows Mika Moon, who is an orphan, and she likes to post videos and content online pretending to be a witch. I think that's the thing that I had with this book, is that it was based in present day, which for me, it's not my favorite thing. I like books that have world building and that are not based in our current world. For me, it's just like, okay, I see this world every day. Can I just get some out of this world, some fantasy, something that's away from here, something different? And that's usually what I look for books. And I think now that I'm remembering, that's what was something that kind of turned me off from this book, is that it was based in today's world. But we're gonna give it another try. It's okay, we're gonna give it another try. So anyways, Mika Moon pretends to be a witch online, where she posts videos and she thinks that no one's gonna take it seriously, but until one day, I believe she gets like a message saying if she can come to this remote and mysterious house called Nowhere House to teach 3 young actual witches how to control their magic. So Mika Moon is put to the challenge to come and teach these witches how to be witches. And Mika Moon apparently is not a witch herself. She's only been pretending to be one. I read that this has a cute little love story in it, that it's very cozy and also very ambient. So we're gonna see, and hopefully this time around I have a better time with it and I actually finish it. So I'll get back to you all on how this goes. Okay, so the next book that I have here is not something that I've had in my TBR for a while. This is actually a new book that I just got, but I just had to sprinkle it in my August TBR just so I can feel excited that I'm reading something fresh and new. And that is Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed. First of all, this cover is everything. I was really drawn by this cover and of course the title of this book as well. I read that this is a very dark fantasy, sort of horror-ish, which I'm okay with. Also, there are some trigger warnings on here. I believe there's like sexual assault and other things going on here, so please look up the trigger warnings before if you decide to pick up this book. This book follows three sisters who are witches, and I believe they're the last witches of their kind. There's like no more witches in their world that hold power just like them. The story particularly follows one of the sisters whose name is Marlinchen. I don't know how to really pronounce her name, so we're just gonna go with Marlin. The three sisters are witches. They're the last of their kind. They help heal and make remedies for the local folk who might be sick. They live with their father, who is very controlling and abusive as well. But at night, the three sisters sneak out to go and enjoy the ravishes of the city because their father doesn't let them go out at all. So as they're out and about enjoying the city like escape, they come across this monster, I believe, this monster that's lurking around, and it's up to them to come face to face and defeat this monster, as well as battle the inferiority of their father. So I'm excited to read this dark horror sort of fantasy book. I'm here for it. The next book that I have is also a book that I've had in my stack of unread books here in my bookshelf, and I finally decided to pick it up for this TBR because I think it was going to be a good transition into spooky season. And that is All Our Hidden Gifts by Carolyn O'Donoghue. This cover is also amazing. I am in love with this cover. So this book is about obviously witches, as you can tell from the cover. I love that the cover looks like a tarot card, which makes sense because the book it's sort of about that. So this book follows Maeve Chambers, who one day finds an old dusty pack of tarot cards at their school, and apparently this pack of tarot cards gives really accurate tarot readings. Listen, anything that has to do with tarot cards I'm here for. I have like so many. I don't know if you can see it. No, you probably can't see it. Like, it's over here, one down. I have all of that shelf is full of tarot cards and oracle cards. I am a sucker for tarot cards and oracle cards. I love them. So apparently this dusty pack of tarot cards is giving May quite the popularity at school, but apparently there is someone who's just giving her no attention, and that is her ex-best friend, Lily. So apparently their friendship fell apart sometime the year before that, and then one day Lily finally gets drawn into sitting down with Maeve so she can get her cards read, and apparently she ends up picking up a card that shouldn't have been in the deck at all, according to Maeve. And then 2 days later, Lily goes missing. So now it's up to Maeve and a couple of her other friends to go and find Lily, or to figure out what in the world happened to Lily. I love that this book has non-binary romance, it has queer liberation, and also the witches on here I believe are based on Irish witches, which is really exciting. I've never read a book that is solely dedicated about Irish witches, so that's going to be something excited to read about. So that's that one. The last book that I have on here that I'm planning to read for August is actually a graphic book, and it is called Sorceline by Sylvia Douillet and Paola Antista. I got this book a couple months ago and I completely forgot about it, but I'm really excited. I love reading graphic novels, and this one's a pretty short read, so I'm sure I can get through this one pretty fast. But this book follows our main protagonist, whose name is Sorceline. It says here that Sorceline has always loved studying mythical creatures, and now as a student at Professor Archibald Balzar's prestigious School of Cryptozoology. That sounds interesting. She's eager to test her knowledge and earn a spot as one of Balzar's apprentices. But when one of her classmates suddenly disappears, Sorceline finds herself on a journey far darker and more personal than she expected. Just realized that I have quite some books here about people disappearing, so I guess that's going to be a theme for August. I love the very autumn color palette that we have going on here. I think this is going to be a really great transition into the autumn spooky season. So cute. I love it. I love it. So I'm excited to read this one as well. So that makes it 6 books that I have for August. I don't want to pressure myself and read more than I feel like I could only handle, because then I'm just going to be reading just to meet that goal. And the whole point is to just read just to enjoy good books. So that is my little stack that I have on here. I'm so excited to get into these books and give you all an update on what I thought about them. So thank you so much, friends, for being here, for watching this video. I hope that one of these sounded interesting for you. I do plan on doing reading vlogs for August. That way I can share with you all the journey of reading these books, amongst other videos that I have planned. So I hope you stick around. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments what you're reading. Let me know if you read some of these books. Let me know down in the comments what you're planning on reading for August. I would really love to know. If you have any fantasy, cozy fantasy, witchy book recommendations, leave those down below. I'm always looking for new books to get my hands on or to add to my TBR to save for a later day. Before you leave, I would really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, comment, engaged with this video. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, and I currently have a goal to try and make it to 1,000 subscribers, and I am almost there. So your support would really mean the world to me by just liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, and just saying hi. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now, friends.